question is, how on earth did she do that? And the answer turns out to be that she went to 100 different libraries and archives and found the correspondence of the principals to see what they were talking about and what positions they took. And from this, she derived conversations, which were synthesized, but they were quite believable. Now let us imagine our early 21st century, all the emails that we exchange with each other and the tweets and everything else, and somebody in the 22nd or 23rd century is trying to figure out what went on in the 21st. All of that information will have likely evaporated, despite what you hear about either NSA or Google or anybody else. So I believe that we need to seriously consider this problem. I do remember a young man sitting in a conversation on the topic among a collection of librarians, stood up and said, "This is not a problem. The important stuff will be mapped into new formats and so on, and the stuff that wasn't important will be lost and no one will care." It took a good half an hour to get the librarians off the ceiling, who said, "Excuse me, but what is important sometimes is not understood for several hundred years." And so I'm sure you know stories that you can reproduce of documents and manuscripts that have been found after long periods of time by completely unpredictable circumstances that have led to great insight into things that happened long ago. Best example of this I can think of is the Archimedes palimpsest, which some of you will know about, written in 1000 AD in a monastery in Jerusalem, were Greek manuscripts reproducing a number of Archimedes works. And it was held in the monastery in Jerusalem for 200 years. Then they decided that vellum was more valuable than the manuscripts. They scrubbed the Greek off as much as they could, rotated 90 degrees, cut the vellum, and turned it into Latin liturgical documents, which stayed in Jerusalem until about 1900.